Only God's plan for salvation will work. 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 What would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say? What would you have me know? Only God's plan for salvation will work. 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 Only God's plan for salvation will work.
Lesson 71 from A Course in Miracles. Only God's plan for salvation will work. You may not realize that the ego has set up a plan for salvation in opposition to God's. It is this plan in which you believe. Since it is the opposite of God's, you also believe that to accept God's plan in place of the ego's is to be damned. This sounds preposterous, of course, yet after we have considered just what the ego's plan is, perhaps you will realize that, however preposterous it may be, you do believe it. This is how the lesson begins, showing us the difference between the ego's plan for salvation and God's, and the fact that you have believed the ego's until now. And yet, the ego's plan for salvation leads in only one direction, and that is toward your death, toward convincing you that you are a body, that somehow the body that you claim is important, needs to be protected, and ultimately, even in the best of situations, will grow old, sickly, and die. And yet God's plan for salvation is that you are still as you were created, holy and perfect, and that nothing can change that. Now that you know what God's plan for salvation is, will you choose that over the ego's? The ego's plan has never given you what you really want, what it says it will. It promises one thing and delivers another. The one thing that it will always promise is sickness, pain, and death. And the fact that you want that, that's what's preposterous. But now we have a chance to choose again, and we will, and we are, and this is the moment in which that choice is being made, not for death, but for eternal life, and a life that surrounds you now, in this moment, a heaven that you never left except in your imagination. But now your imagination is revealing the truth of who you are, and we say yes to that truth.